So after you have achieved a nice smooth fit to the width of the trigger guard and the gun inserts smoothly into the slide lock, the next thing you may want to fine-tune or check at least that the adjustment is correct is the actual locking of the safety to make sure that it engages correctly and without much friction. To do this, you want to holster the gun into the insert. You want to make sure that you assemble the pressure plate. And remember, that little dot on the pressure plate is there as an indicator. It needs to be on the upward side, so above the hole, and facing you. You place that in place, and then you can insert the screw with the spring. This is just to make sure that the slide lock is working as it should. And then, if you look on the back side of the insert, you'll clearly be able to see the point where the safety engages the slide lock. And this is how the safety actually works on the Racemaster holster. When you rotate the lever down, this part of the safety rotates up, and it's there to block the slide lock from moving up. And we adjust it so that it rotates just above the top corner of the slide stop when the gun is holstered all the way down. Now occasionally a gun will not go down as far as another because of slight changes in the dimensions, and you may find that the top of that safety there is rubbing against the top of the slide lock, creating a little bit of friction in the movement of the safety. The safety should move pretty loose and click into place on both ends. There's a spring-loaded ball in there that does that clicking for you. If there's too much friction, you may want to just simply remove a hair of material from the top. Again, you'll take this out, remove your slide lock, and right here, the upper right-hand corner is where the slide lock engages with the safety. You can use your file again simply to round off that corner, remove a little bit more material so that when you install it again and it's seated in the correct position, and the only way to know that is with the pistol in place and that pressure plate installed, there's enough clearance for the safety to rotate above the slide lock. Now usually none of these fittings will be required. However, if any of these problems do come up, if you find the holster a little bit too tight, if you find the safety is not rotating as loosely as you'd expect, look to see if that's where the problem lies, and most likely you'll be able to resolve it fairly quickly. Another point that I'd like to mention, and something that you may want to fine-tune on your holster, especially if you're using more than one insert, in fact only if you're using more than one insert and you're in the habit of changing inserts often in your holster, it's easier to do if the insert slides in without much resistance. So if you're finding the fit a little bit too tight, you can always just sand off a little bit from the outer side of the insert, easily done by using a flat piece of sandpaper and just running the insert over that just to remove perhaps a few tenths or half a millimeter to the point where the insert slides in very easily. I'd recommend removing from the outside rather than from the opposite side where the nut is and the two pins. This is the side you don't want to be sanding on. You want to sand on the outer side. A few times removing a little bit of material to the point where the insert slides in with little or no resistance. One other thing worth looking at is make sure that the M4 threads on the back align properly with the holes. In later generations of the holster, we've actually increased the size of this hole just to prevent any fitting problems that may come up. So now we make those holes slightly larger. But if you have one of the early generation holsters, the hole there is very tight around the screw. And if it's not a perfect fit, you may find that these M4 screws don't slide into place as easily as you'd like. Take a drill, a 4.5 or even a 5mm drill bit. Simply enlarge the holes in the aluminum casing. Enlarge the holes. Then you'll have more play and the screw will center itself as it tightens up. Remember, there's no need to over-tighten these screws. It's an M4 screw with a small hex key. You don't want to wear those out, and there's no need to tighten or to over-tighten it. So these are a few of the issues which have come up in the last year or so, comments and questions from customers. And I hope this short tutorial will help you resolve these issues. And again, you can always look us up and contact me at info@doublealpha.biz if you have any questions or need any further assistance with your Racemaster holster.